Talking Shrimpers podcast, sponsored by Surgical Holdings.
Welcome to your award-winning Talking Shrimpers podcast. I'm your host, Sensei Phil. With me is Charlie Chris, and we're also joined by Anne Morris, founder of the brilliant project, Match of the Dames. Welcome, guys.
There we go. Just getting used to it again.
That's a great start. Welcome, Anne. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Not as well as you lot, as I said.
Yeah, we'll try not to gloat. We will try. It's difficult. Yeah, we don't normally start well each season, so, good win for us. But listen, let's talk about Match of the Dames. We had you on last season. For those that don't know what Match of the Dames is, do you want to just explain it, what the project is, and maybe talk about last season first, how that kind of went?
Yeah, indeed. So, well, just in case people don't know, I'm an Altrincham fan, so that's why that last, last comment. So, yeah, not a great day for me on Saturday. Match of the Dames. Started last year as a project really that just came out of my mind to try and bring more women to the game for the first time. Now, having visited Southend since I started this last year, I don't think you've got a really, significant issue with this, but in Altrincham we certainly did. And having women to come along to the game was something that really needed a bit of something behind it. It wasn't something that was happening. So what I did last year was set up a campaign which took me all over the country. It was based around 20 of Altrincham's games that were taking place. 10 of them were at home, so to really build up a community of fans locally to us, and then 10 of those at away clubs as well, of which Southend was one. And it took me all around the country, from Yeovil, Southend in the south, right up to Carlisle and Hartlepool in the north, and everywhere in between, really. So I had a brilliant year. It was really interesting. Everywhere I went, I was made really welcome. And we bring along, every time we have a game, or did last year, it was 20 ladies and girls that we were trying to bring along to each fixture. So the idea was to try and build up a base of female fans who, came along to something with a group of people all in the same situations. There's a social element to it as well. And you come along and enjoy this new experience that you've no idea really is how it's going to actually be like. And in most cases, I would say we pleasantly surprised our dames that came along. They didn't know quite what to expect, but they were up for an afternoon of something different. Tended to come with a mum or a daughter or a buddy from work or a friend or whatever. They'd always often come along in pairs. But then, they had just a really good afternoon. And I think it's as much that it's changing people's view of what they think it's going to be like walking into a non-league ground, and actually showing them what it is like. And that was the idea of it. So that was last year. And then this year we've spread. So we're getting bigger. It's exciting.
Yes, you like you said, you covered a lot of miles last season, and a lot of women came to football probably for the first time, which is absolutely fantastic. So how has that evolved now over this season? What's different for the project?
So what I realised is that me travelling around the country isn't a great sustainable way to do it. And I've got a husband, so, he's a football fan, but, missing me most weekends of the year, going up and trekking around the country. So what I thought halfway through the year, I kind of thought, how am I going to make this sustainable? I wasn't sure it was going to last beyond a year, so it wasn't something that I set out with a plan. But it definitely sparked the attention. Everywhere I went, people were really interested in it. And on my travels, I would say 4 of the clubs, of the 10 away clubs that I went to, really embraced it, really got behind it. And they were very clear that if I was doing anything with it at all, that they would like to be involved. As I say, Southend was one of those. So when I was thinking what would actually work as something that could be sustainable, I came up with a slightly tweaked model, which I then felt would hold some water if I could get enough people to buy into it. And that is that each of so there's 5 clubs now involved this year, Altrincham and 4 of the clubs, and each club will have 8 games across the course of the season, so slightly fewer games in each club, but slightly more people, so 25 women and girls were aiming to get to each of those games. And so that in total gives you 40 games, so 5 8s, and then 25 at each. That brings it in at a cool 1,000 first-time female fans, and if we can do anything near that, it's going to be quite outstanding and exceptional. So that's the focus. What it also means is that I've got really some fantastic volunteers who've stepped up to help with this on the ground, because that will be local teams running these games, which will help with attracting ladies because, it's all about who you know locally, and also attracting sponsorship, which is really key to make it sustainable as well, because there's, as I say, it's a social element with refreshments and things as well. So, all of this comes to play. That's the new challenge.
So if you're listening out there, sponsors definitely required. So either get in touch with Anne or myself and we can forward those details on. But what a brilliant project. And I know it's something Southend are obviously getting involved with, and just seeing ladies come to football for the first time is absolutely brilliant. And as we said before, and the women's game certainly is progressing hugely, and a big part of the Lionesses' successes have been a major project for that to grow. So it's really great now seeing sort of women going, men going to watch women's football, and like the other side, women come to watch men's, and just really growing that theme. So obviously we mentioned that Altrincham had their first game of the season, played Southend. How many did you have come along to that?
That wasn't one of our scheduled dames matches. So I met with another dame who I'd met through, the campaign last year, but there was just a couple of us there for this one. But it's not one of our scheduled ones. Our first one in Altrincham is on the 26th.
Probably best not to take them to that one.
Actually quite glad in the end. Although I have to say, I think the team always step up a little bit. They put that extra little bit of, there. Our first game isn't until the 26th of September because I wanted to give a bit of a run in with having to organise 5 different clubs this year, so that to help and support with everything. But that will be 25 women. But it was not a classic match for Altrincham on Saturday. Probably
we were happy, weren't we, guys?
Yeah, we were happy. And it's just a question I want to ask: if any of the girls that might be watching or listening, how do they get involved? How do they reach out to say they want to attend one of these games?
Okay, first thing to say is, one of our games this year of the 8 has to be a women's fixture. So we've not actually picked that one at Southend yet. I thought we'd just get the men's game sorted, and then we would move on to sorting one of the women's games, whichever that will be. We are really trying to encourage that. People come and watching the women's game. And if people want to get involved and come along, there is a website, matchofthedames.co.uk, and if you just go onto there, there's on the homepage, click here to get your free ticket and sign up basically. So it's looking good for Southend's first game. We've got 15 sign-ups out of the 25 already, so you better be quick.
Oh,
that's good.
Oh, brilliant.
We had I don't know if you're aware, Anne, but we had a fixture at the end of the season at Roots Hall, and that was the ladies were playing an exhibition game there for the first time. And I think, Charlie, you were there, wasn't it?
I was.
Over 3,000 that came for that. Yeah. Absolutely incredible. Really has kind of raised their platform. So, it's great for them as well.
Well, I have to say, Southend's marketing is second to none in the National League. I mean, I get exactly. Don't get much from the other clubs coming through every week, but Southend every week. So it really is impressive.
I think it's something that we're very fortunate with the new sort of ownership. They're really keen to push the ladies' team and the female football, and chatting to the girl now. They feel like they're part of Southend. They're attending Meet the Blues days, giving out autographs and stuff. And I think if you spoke to those girls 2-3 seasons ago, to say you'll be there with the first team and having photos and playing at Roots Hall in front of 3,000, they would have thought you were, on a wind-up. So, we're very fortunate that, we've got the support and stuff. And obviously with you guys, we'll be, more than happy to plug your case. And I think, the women's game is definitely evolving, like Phil said, with the Lionesses. I think they're really the spearhead of it, aren't they? And now,
I was absolutely amazed last year, pleasantly really surprised by the number of mums and younger girls, the daughters that came along, where the girls would clearly, if not driving it necessarily themselves, the mums would know that the girls would want to come along, and so they often played. They're often players, and they wanted to come along and experience a game. And I think the way that this is set up with the scarves, not really mentioned the scarves yet, but the scarves and everything around it just kind of engages people to think, you're going to be there, you're going to be safe, it's going to be friendly, it's going to be a nice sort of group atmosphere. I think that's as much as anything what it is for the ladies. It's coming along and knowing that they're in a nice group with the women, that they can chit chat a little bit if the football isn't there holding for 90 minutes, they can have a chat, which is women do like a little bit of that.
Talk about how much you like each other's nails and hair.
It's all hard. You guys are going to talk
That's,
about other
that's
things.
quite a key point because, as you said, Anne, you know, through this project, you've had women meet each other for the first time, and friendships have been formed.
Oh, most definitely. So there are 4 ladies in particular who have been helping me closely in Altrincham, and each one of those is managing one of the away teams next year. So it's really nice to have that.
Brilliant.
I didn't know any of them beforehand, and they literally responded to a call out on LinkedIn about what I was doing and just said, you know, do you need any help? It was basically people just putting their hand up, and this has extended to, you know, at the end of last season, we had a brilliant match where we actually had 37 people come along, either returning because they'd been during the year or first time that day, our very last game of the season. And it was just brilliant, and the you know, the opportunity to volunteer, to get involved with your local club, to realise that your local club is for you as a woman is absolutely key to part, you know, to what we're trying to achieve. It is about the football, but it's really about the community and the football hand in hand.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a very big fan, you know, big fan base, and there's a zone called Shrimp Zone, and you know, a lot gets posted on there. There's a lot of Southend fan goes on there. But someone actually posted a thread on Match of the Danes today, and I was just having a read of that. And there was a couple of ladies just went on there, and one of them said, I'm gonna read it. First game at football was age 9 when my dad took me to see West Ham. I went regularly for years with him until I was 15. I started coming to Southend intermittently after that, probably once or twice a season. Then I got a season ticket at Roots Hall, and now she's basically been going for 26 years, which is incredible. There's another one. My dad and uncle took me when I was 8, and I stood in the paddocks as it was then. That was 57 years ago. I mean, that's incredible, you know. And projects like this can really kind of change people's life. You know, it could be the start of a really miserable life or a joyful weekend, depending who you support, doesn't it? I know which one it has been for us for the majority of the time. But yeah, listen, it can be life changing for people.
Absolutely, that sense. And I've seen a lot of that as well. You know, the Her Game 2 ambassadors that I've met in particular, my goodness, you know, they've got stories of how they just started going as a kid, and then, you know, how it's just their life, and they absolutely love it, and they're so brilliant. They do such an amazing job. So, you know, it's fantastic. You know, all power to women who go. But I think the cases that you both mentioned there were about men taking their girls for the first time, and it would be lovely to think that it was mums taking their girls as well.
Exactly.
Just equally, it's not like we're trying to be anything better or different, really. It's just why wouldn't this be the case? You know, let's get people who enjoy going, and they know other women that they've met through going.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, great project, and it's been great talking to you. You're due to play us at Root Hall, I believe, January the 30th. So you probably need a few more scarves come January. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you down.
Hopefully, yes. I know that one's being sponsored by Indigo, the governance people who sponsor the club. So, you know, really excited to come down and meet Bernadette over there. She's very keen to sponsor. And, you know, just as I say, I'm not particularly pushing that, but I just think these things don't just happen. You know, I was able to make it work last year, but this year, you know, if we can, that would be brilliant. So, yeah.
And great to speak to you again. Hopefully Altrincham will pick up now. They've played Southend, and you know, good luck, and we'll talk to you nearer the time.
Awesome. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you, Anne.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was Anne. Guys, we'll come on to the Altrincham game. Now, great start for us, wasn't it? Charlie, we don't normally get a lot of joy there, do we, at Altrincham? But yeah, great start for us.
Fantastic, wasn't it? I mean, yeah, we haven't had the best of times there, have we? Last, was it four years, was it? Not being able to even score at the place. So to go there, and I mean, when you go 1-0 down there, you start to think, don't you, oh, here we go again. But this is a very, very, I said it on a previous sort of note, I said, this is a very different Southend team to, you know, obviously the past 3-4 years. And this is a team now that Kieran Dyer's brought players in that are, you know, really attacking, forward thinking. And what was impressive for me was in previous years, when we sort of, or especially like last season, we're going 1-0 down, we've always sort of struggled to turn those results around. Yet, you know, we seemed really comfortable. You know, I think Kieran even admitted to himself that they didn't quite get the the tactics right to start with the press, but he made at half time he made those changes, made the tweaks, and you can see that second half we completely controlled it, even in elements of the first half. I think after we scored, they had maybe a couple of half chances, but other than that, I felt that we really started to grow into the game. I thought Oldacre and Hartigan in the middle, with their experience, helped, and then it gave that freedom for Leon, particularly that first half. I thought he was unbelievable, and we know what he's like, cutting in from that wing, given half a chance, if he can get a shot away, you can see how devastating he can be, and he took his goal really, really well. And then obviously going into the second half, I felt that we were really in control, and the press, as Kieran keeps going said about, paid dividends, putting that pressure on that keeper, forcing the error. And Cardwell, I think, for me, you look at a striker that's picked the ball up there, you'd half expect him to want to try and get a shot away, but to have that peace of mind for just a simple sort of back flick for a tap in for Coker, I thought was really, really well played to Cardwell. And then he took his goal very, very well. The whole build-up I thought was fantastic, from sort of the counter-attack. Coldclough, you could see his quality, what he's got when he come on.
We'll come on to him, but just looking at the lineup, any surprises there? I mean, Kendall started out wide to begin with. No Taylor even on the bench, actually. I don't know. No, I think Kieran didn't allude to any injuries or anything. No. So did we read anything into that?
Not for me, to be honest. Taylor, I think, he's only had a few, he's missed the first, was it 3 games of pre-season? So he's trying to get up to speed with things. And like Kieran said, he's going to put a team out that he thinks can beat the team. It's not necessarily the best 11, it's the best team. And I think that showed. The question for me, as you mentioned, is Kendall out on that right-hand side. That was a sort of surprise to me, because it's not particularly a position that he's played, particularly under Kev, for sure. So it was how he was going to fit in on that right-hand side. And look, I think he had opportunities there. His work ethic, his running, absolutely tired that left back out, which probably paid dividends for Kamara when he come on. I think he then reaped the rewards of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I wonder why he started it. It may be because, the likes of Twamley and Papula are not kind of been used to playing at this level yet, and Coldclough's obviously not fit yet. So was it a case of starting the players that know the National League to begin with? And like we said, Altringham's always been a difficult place to go. Yeah. So straight away there's kind of pressure. And actually, Chris, that pressure could have increased early on because they got a very early lead. Maybe a bit of nerves from us to begin with, I think we
started quite poorly, to be fair. And I mean, they had a chance just before they scored as well. We could have been 2-0 down within the first 10 minutes easily. And then, as has been said, that press was, I mean, Kieran alluded to it in his interviews that it was on him. It wasn't quite what they were looking for. It's almost like Kev was managing us still, because we were playing the ball backwards. We were going sideways. There was no penetration at all going through the middle. The midfield looked disjointed. The back four, for the first 45 minutes, I thought looked like they didn't know each other, and they were playing for the first time together, and it showed. But then,
well, McAdam has only just come in, hasn't he? And like you said, the other guys probably haven't played much together.
The half-time changes, I think those 2 substitutions of bringing Kamara on and Coldclough on, that changed the game for us. I think that was the catalyst. That he bossed the midfield. He allowed Oldacre to then play his game, and then getting that width on the sides. Obviously their left back was pretty tired after running around all first half, but then Kamara himself, when he came on, he was down that wing. It looked like Ricky Otto was playing again. It was every time he got the ball, he was going to take someone on, and he did, and obviously led to a couple of goals.
Great memory.
So it was impressive, the second half. I was quite pleased with that. Altrincham.
Well, like you said, the equaliser was from Leon. Was a brilliant goal. Great play down the left, cut inside, super finish. Now, looking at Abdul Malik at Boreham, they've turned down bids of 750 grand. It's reported they've turned down another bid of 1 million. Yeah. Now, you've heard that we've had clubs linked to Leon sort of pre-season, and I don't know how true it is, but we've allegedly knocked back, an offer. So Charlie, how much is Leon worth then if Abdul Malik is 1 million? If we keep Leon and he maintains this kind of consistency over the season, he could be quite a player for us, couldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you say a price on him. I think it's very hard to put a price on him based with Abdul Malik, because Abdul Malik's kind of performed at consistent level. Do you know what I mean? Leon last year, he was sort of in and out at times in the team. I think he needs a consistent kind of season where he's consistently performing at that level, I think. And if he does that, which I suspect he's more than capable of doing, he's got the absolute backing of Dyer. And I think that will do him the world of confidence. And I think if we can get him performing like that week in, week out, then we'll be batting off offers left, right, and centre for him come the end of the season, if not January. But so for us, it's an absolute joy that we've still been able to keep hold of him.
Yeah, it is. It gives us so many options, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it could have been very easy for us to say, you know what, the price is right, we'll sell him, and then we can look at reinvesting that into another player. But it's someone who Kieran obviously thinks very highly of and sees him as a real, real promise for the future. And off of his performance on Saturday, you can see why. And for us, we're only better for that. But what I like is that you look at the bench, and there's, like you say, you've got players on the bench there that can, if he's not performing, they're chomping at the bit, and players that can also.
Rico's got to come in yet as well.
Exactly. So it's a real headache for Dyer, but one that he will relish having, because for the first time you look at that bench, and what I liked was the fact that at 2-1 up, we go and make more attacking substitutions to go, you know what, we want a third now. We're not sitting at 2-1 and we'll sit deeper and just defend it. No, we'll go, okay, they were down to 10 men at the time, but even so, it's good to see. And I think that I said even then, if we're playing away from games and it's 1-1, we're not going to look at just playing out for the draw. We want to go and try and win every single game we can. And I thought that was so refreshing to see. It really was. I think I'm really excited for this season off of the back of that. I really am.
Well, obviously, you mentioned we went 2-1 up. Great press by Cards. They were trying to play out from the back, and lovely little back heel for Coker to just tap it home. And, in the past, I think we've done it, and a lot of teams have got in that situation, certainly away from home. Going 2-1 up, you would understand they try and shut up the shop. But no, I think the substitutes were very brave from Kieran. It was only sort of 56 minutes, a few minutes later, that he took off Kendall and Hartigan. Hartigan obviously is the guy that's protecting the back four. And he brought on Clough and Kamara. That is a statement. We want to go and get a third. And I don't know if you saw the interview with Kieran Dyer recently. Really good interview, where the guy asked him, what is the secret to get promoted? How do you actually get out of this division? And he said, well, you need 100 points at least. And, he said, and if you need 100 points, you need at least 100 goals. You've got to have attacking options. And as you mentioned, Charlie, we've got a plethora of players that can attack. And, what a great substitution that was, because, as you mentioned, both Clough and Kamara both made an immediate impact.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we've seen glimpses of Clough when in pre-season he scored those 2 great goals. It was against Aveley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we always said that if we can get him and he's fit and stuff, he's going to be a hell of a player. Let his football do the talk, and he certainly did that on Saturday. The little bit of sort of the trickery to free himself up in the middle there when he was under pressure by the 2 players.
Brilliant.
Turn, you're thinking that. Yeah, something in National League you don't see too
across
often.
The pitch ball.
You don't see it pulled off to, and then exactly, and then that diagonal ball straight across to Kamara, and even then he still had a bit of work to do. I felt, it could have been easy for him just to put his foot on the ball, slow the game down a little. But like you say, he's got his head down. He's gone at that defender, and then played a wonderful ball through to Kamara. Had the perfect weight on it, and I thought Caldwell his finish, I thought that was a very, very tight.
And did you notice he was
first
following
touch,
up Cardwell's
across the goal.
shot? It was Colclough. He was there right on the line, straight
Yeah.
following the boat all the way through.
Yeah,
So-
he's a very clever player.
Yeah,
Well, he was very smart. I mean, Cosilo, I think it was, wasn't it? He'd got booked
yeah.
for a a foul on a late challenge on Coker,
Coker,
which the
wasn't
ref I thought was. We don't mention the refs often unless we're kind of saying how bad they are, but I thought he was good. He let the play carry on, and then he called him back, did the booking. And Cole Clough switched on because he knew that he'd had a booking before, so he drew the foul. The guy's off, red card. So now it's opened up the space, and as you say, he still had work to do because players are closing him down, but he knew he had spaces for other players to run into. And it was a brilliant ball to Kamara, and it was just a fantastic counter-attack, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it really was. And for me, I think it was pleasing for Cardwell as well, because we've said previously that, he's not probably had the best of seasons, last sort of couple of seasons with injuries and, the whole thing with Forest Green and stuff. But I think, we sit here and harp about how we need another striker and stuff. And I still do think that is the case. I think it'd be very naive of us to think that, no, we're all okay now. I think we do still need that. But I think it's very important, Cardwell, he had that assist for Coker. He's got on the score sheet. Pre-season, he scored a couple as well. So I think that'll do his confidence. And if we can get Cardwell, I mean, that first season he was with us, I think he scored, 18, 19 goals, was it? Something similar. So if we can get that kind of form again, all of a sudden, naturally, we've already got a striker at the club that can get us 20-odd goals. Now, if we can get another striker, don't forget, we've still got Kendall as well. Now, he's capable of hitting double figures. So it does make, this 100-goal target that's kind of been unofficially set, I guess, it does make it a real sort of realistic
and Colclough will bang a few in for us as well.
The rest of the team. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
exactly.
he will.
And I think
And he's still
Kamara
getting
will.
match fitness, isn't he?
Yeah, there's plenty of people across that team. I think it won't be long before we see the likes of Oldacre. If he's on free kicks,
A few free kicks.
and his quality of free
Exciting,
kicks.
boys,
It's good.
isn't it?
Yeah, so I don't feel that goals will be an issue.
No.
I'm really, really am excited.
I'm a bit concerned still about that defence,
Yeah,
though.
well-
That defence looked shaky. I come up against a better side. I think if we'd come up against, say, Scunthorpe early on, I know we got them this week, but if we'd come up them first off, a better side would have punished us a lot more. And I think we'd be talking a different story now. We need to get that cohesiveness going a lot more back there.
What did you make of Joe Duncan? I mean, I've been really impressed with him, not just for his shot stopping, catching crosses. His distribution kicks have been brilliant. I mean, we see a lot of these. We talk about teams playing out from the back, and we see so many teams trying to do it, and they just don't have the ability. But he's got the ability to pick a pass across field. For me, he's a really good signing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, for a goalkeeper, don't get me wrong, his feet, he's excellent with his feet, his composure on the ball, under pressure. You say his passing is exceptional. But for me as a goalkeeper, what I love with him is he's coming out every cross. If he can get that ball, he's coming out and he's claiming. And the amount of pressure that takes off a defence
Keeps them confident, doesn't it?
It's immense. And you say his distribution. If we can pick a ball up, and then turn it over so quickly with our attackers and our wingmen that we've got, our flair players, we've got the pace. We can open up teams on the counter quite easily, I feel. But for me, I think his handling is exceptional. He's quite a tall guy anyway, but I thought there's quite a few, especially in a congested box, he was coming out picking the balls out of the air, and I think that's what you want from your goalkeeper. Absolutely controlling that 6-yard box.
Yeah, well, we finished the game with, I was just looking at, with Twemley, Kamara, Colclough and Papula all on the pitch. I mean, that's a statement right there, isn't it? If you're the opposition, you're like, okay, who are we shutting down? I mean, there's a lot of talent there.
Very much so.
I'm just wondering, guys, how... I'm just wondering, the only thing I will say against Kieran Dyer is I don't know how good my knees are going to be by the end of the season, the amount of times we're going to be getting up out of our chair. Because, listen, these are players to get... We talked about Ricky Otto. these are guys to get
Yeah.
fans out of their seats, aren't they? And, you know, it looks like if we can, as you said, Chris, if we can work on that back, you know, I think Vontae is an absolutely fantastic player at right back, I've got to say. And we've got Hartigan to protect us. So we've just got to, I think, stabilise that back. Once they get used to each other a bit more, then you know, I think we're going to be getting a lot of goals. Lots to look forward to, isn't it? It's really exciting.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
What did you make of McAdam? I mean, he's just come in. I think he's only had, obviously, the one few minutes against Averley. We've then obviously signed him, and, you know, that was his first full start. What did you make of him, Chris?
Yeah, no, but not too bad. I thought, well, it was a good game for most of the team. Shaky start again, but the rest of them, I think it's good. Match fitness probably a little bit down, but then expected.
Yeah.
You know, he only played sort of, was it 10 minutes at Averley, 15 minutes at Averley? So, yeah, I think that will come along with some of the others. But yeah, I think he's a good, certainly a good buy. Should give us some strength in the left there and at the back. But as time will tell, I suppose.
And what I love, he takes up some really good positions. You know, he's got good frames, very quick. People have said, you know, he gets some great crosses in his previous clubs. So I think, it's a shrewd signing, I think, by Codler. Obviously, we've got a bit of cash for boys, which was really good after 1 year. You know, and here's a guy who's played League One. He's got that experience. He's got, you know, pedigree from Forest. So, you know, I think
he's young, isn't he?
21 years old as well. So he can grow into that position. And, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if in a couple of years clubs are kind of knocking on the door looking at him.
I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because he's got some big shoes to fill, hasn't he? With
he has.
But let's be honest, they're two very different players, aren't they? So, yeah, I thought he had a really good game personally. You know, he got up and down that channel, and that's what you want, really, isn't it? I thought defensively he was sound. So, yeah, he's only going to get more confident as the games go.
Yeah, well, what a fantastic result. Well done, lads. Now, we've got a real special guest just joined us. We tried to get one last week, and that is Eleanor. Now, Eleanor was one of 2,800 youngsters that actually entered the competition to design the new ladies' mascot. And, Eleanor, you created the winner, didn't you?
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
There she is. So you
It's a bit glitchy about that.
That's all right, no worries. So you designed the mascot, Rock to the Seal, which is incredible. So you're a season ticket holder, I understand, aren't you, with your mum as well? How long have you been going to Roots Hall?
So I've been going for quite a while now, but my family introduced me to it when I was like 7 maybe, and then I just got like right into it and really enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Now you entered the competition. Where did the inspiration come from for this character?
So me and my friend enjoy like animals, and we were speaking about animals one day, and I remember the time when I saw seals off the back of the pier, and I was like, that's a really nice animal, and it really shows Southend, because they're really nice animals, and they showed Southend really nicely.
Great choice. Did you consider any other animals, or was it always going to be a seal?
I did consider another animal, but it definitely didn't look as good as it now does.
Go on, what was the animal?
It was a tiger, but then
Okay.
I didn't really show Southend through its heart.
Wrong colours, more whole city.
Unless he was swimming in the sea.
Yeah, they can swim. Yeah, I think a seal was definitely the right choice. So listen, what was your reaction when you heard that you'd won?
It was unbelievable because my friend who was with me like guessed it would be me, and it was just incredible to know that my design was going to be the mascot for many years to come. So my mum was just blown, and I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, I bet she's very proud, very
Eleanor,
happy.
was you when you see your design on paper, then to see it actually in real life, how was that? Is it how you imagined it to be in real life, or did it exceed your expectations?
It exceeded my expectations because it was just beautiful to see it. because I noticed it one day and I was like, that's incredible. I created that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just incredible to see it.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It really was.
I imagine a cat covered in £10 million, and every morning just my cat turns up. So listen, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. So you got a dream, haven't you? But listen, what amazing to see what you design actually come to real life. Absolutely incredible. Listen, I've got a little video for you. Just watch this.
Hi Eleanor, it's Justin Rees here, Southend United chairman. I'm not sure if you recall, we actually met at the Southend United Women versus Colchester Women game at Roots Hall, where of course Roxy the Seal was unveiled as the winning mascot as part of the Draw Her Into the Game campaign. So I want to again congratulate you for your entry. You must be so proud, as would your family be, I'm sure, when you see Roxy at Roots Hall, as she will be for every game going forward. I met Roxy for the first time at the West Ham friendly. She looked great and was lots of fun. And again, I just wanted to wish you congratulations and look forward to seeing you at Roots Hall soon.
There you go. That was Justin. What do you think of that?
It's incredible knowing that he understands it's such a great achievement and that, yeah, it's just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So, Eleanor, what's the dream? What's next for you? Are you going to be a creator, artist? Are you going to play for the ladies team? What's the dream?
So my dream is to play for like a team well, not professionally, but like for Southend, for like my local team, and I hopefully can succeed and get them somewhere far in life and just continue playing football for as long as I can.
Yeah, why not? What position do you like to play?
Well, I play right back, but I want to start going right wing. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you can do like a Gus Scott Morris and push forward a bit.
He was my favourite player, but
Yeah, there you go. I knew that was
he
coming.
departed.
Why not? Why
He could
not?
be your inspiration still, couldn't he?
Yeah, he still is.
There we go. Eleanor is going to be the female Gus Scott Morris. And listen, well done to you.
Well done.
Absolutely
Yep.
brilliant.
Thank you.
For
Thank you.
first of all, the creation and actually getting it out there and seeing it for real now. So we're all going to see Roxy the Seal for many years to come, and it's all down to you. So well
I
done, you.
designed that. Yeah,
And
brilliant.
hopefully we'll see you at Roots Hill soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Brilliant. Take care,
Thank you.
Eleanor. And well done.
Yeah, Eleanor, take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Well, the ladies had their last pre-season game yesterday. We won't mention the score. Katie asked me not to. They didn't have a good day.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the opposition players, who I believe had a really good game, was a friend of mine. And she was telling me this morning, oh, you got to mention it. You got to mention it. The whole family are actually Southend fans. So,
Yeah.
you know, you should feel ashamed of yourself.
I think Katie's not here because she's still
Yeah, they
doing
got some
runs,
match fitness
I think.
in
I think
afterwards,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Still got them running around. Yeah.
Yeah, too right.
Look,
Yeah,
I think it's
too
important to
right.
say it was pre-season, isn't it? And
Yeah,
you know,
it's
this is things
minutes
beyond
and
that
legs.
pre-season. So,
Yeah.
but let's not dwell on it too much.
Absolutely.
It's all about minutes in your legs and stuff. And I'm sure come first game of the season they'll be fit and firing.
Well, they start this Sunday. It's their first league game. That's home to Hertford, 2:00. Garrans, get down there to support them. Now, this is a fixture that they won 4-2 last year. Ellie Nichols and Sophie Stack both with a brace each. So hopefully we'll carry on that tradition of beating them at home and get the season up and running. So, yeah, we look forward to that.
But I just want to quickly say, we've got a couple of chats. I just want to go back to obviously the game on Saturday, and we've had a few people. I just want to say like how much. I mean, we've got a few different people here that have mentioned about how excited they are from the, from the game and what they expect. I mean, we've got Pat O'Connor here. So he thinks the squad will go strength to strength as the season goes on, and there's so many more plus points. And he said it was definitely worth the long trip up and back, which it's makes it a lot easier, doesn't it, going all that way off the back of the win. And then we've got the Don. He says two signings stand out for him is Kamara and Coldclough, who looks a cut above even though he's only 75% fit. I think I'd agree with both of those comments. And
Well, I wonder if Kamara can be our Abdul Malik. You know, his feet are so good.
Yeah.
When he's running at defenders, he just terrorised them. And Coldclough's such a smart player. You know,
Yeah,
I
he
think,
really is.
like you say, once he's fit, I think he's going to chip in with goals. He's going to, you know, get assists as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good signing by Kozu, and people said it was a bit of a gamble with him. And listen, we know the history with him, but hopefully, you know, he'll do the talking with his feet now. You know,
People
we've got
will forget that one.
Kieran, hasn't he? Knows him well, can support him. So it's a win-win really for us.
Yeah, no,
and
it really is.
it's players like that that are going to get you promoted.
Yeah, he could potentially be the game changer, isn't he? On a game that's, you know, tight, you know, quite tight, you know, that just needs a match winner. He could certainly be that player for us.
Yeah, so excited. I mean, it's really looking forward to say the whole season. Really, it's a great start for us.
Yeah, bring
I
on the
think the
next
first
game.
time in 5 years we've won there.
Yeah, is it 4 or 5 years? Something
First
like
time in
that,
4 we scored.
You know, and to
Not scored
even
for a while.
score, and then and then
exactly.
score 3 goals, and it's an incredible start. As I say, it's a very new look. It's a very new team, isn't it? Now, a very different looking Southend team. So
Brilliant for the Shrimpers fans that travelled. So, you know, they're not had, as we said, not many too good days out there. So brilliant
was
day
it
for them.
just shy of 900 was it that travelled? So fair play to every single one of
always.
them that made that trip. Yeah, brilliant. But
Brilliant.
not to be unexpected, is it really?
No. Well, academy news, many loans going out. I'm not going to read them out because there's so many. But obviously, likes of Mitch Ward, Nick Zlatev did really, really well last season, going out on loan. And, you know, as I said, it's a big list. Just a few from those I will pick. Dylan Lovely, gone to Great Wakering as a player we've seen. Brandon Dadson, gone to Concord, again, a very tricky player. Harry Carter, good goalkeeper, Southend Manor, and 2 other players. Emmanuel Onu, we saw him last year on that FA Cup run at the back. He's gone to White Ensign. These are all duals, so they're still with Southend.
Yeah.
And Ollie Himes also gone to Ensign. Now he made a name for himself, Charlie, in pre-season, and he's already scored a goal for White Ensign.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think he got the winner, didn't he? Was it a 1-0
good
win,
finish.
wasn't it? So he's fantastic start to the season for him. Obviously scoring in the pre-season, and then scoring for Ensign. So real. I mean, we spoke before with Danny Heath's team how the prospects that he's got there and the quality, and it's good to see them getting that opportunity to play men's football now. As you say, and it must be really good. It must be a really proud moment for Danny as well, giving Coker the captaincy, because
I was going to say, yes,
someone who's come through the youth setup, and there's now to have that captain's armband for a football team that he once used to sit in the stands watching childhood club. So it's it must be like really inspiring for the youngsters that are all coming through.
and he's captain in a team that looks very, very good,
Yeah,
and could be fighting for that automatic promotion spot. I think it's a big year for the academy this year. Now, obviously, with Jack Stone, Nick Zlatev, Mitch Ward, and Josh Barrett all signing under 23 contracts, they're looking at those guys and saying, well, last season, that's what they've managed to achieve. We've now got that opportunity. And as you said, Charlie, the likes of Ollie Coker's come through, now captain in the club. It's a great opportunity for these boys. It's something to aim for, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely it is, and that's what I said. Like Kieran said, like if they're good enough, they'll be given that opportunity, and it's down to them to put the hard work in on the training ground. And if they get invited to join in, first team football and things like that, it's their time to sort of showcase their ability and prove why they should be getting, the next sort of knock on the door to break through into the first team.
Now, we've talked about players in and players out. We've had a lot of movement throughout the club. And we on this podcast has had one in, one out as well. We've got to say a huge thank you to Finn, who's now departed. He's been snapped up by the media team at Southend, which is great for them.
Our budget wouldn't quite allow him to stay, would it?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, if Boreham have kind of valued Abdul Malik at more than $1 million, I'm just wondering what our conversation fee should be. So, Justin Rees, if you're listening, I think 2 million will probably do it, won't it, Charlie?
Yeah, we'll take the 2 million. That'll do. Yeah.
We'll go with
No,
that.
but in seriousness, really well done to Finn. He's done a lot of work on his own sort of sort of social media channels to do with Southend, and obviously that's been noticed and stuff. So he's given him a great opportunity to do something that he loves.
And I'm looking forward to Goofy turning up on one of their media.
However, we do know that sometimes he might have something to do with the scoreboard, so if that all goes wrong, we know who to go to.
Yeah, now listen, thank you, Finn, again, and good luck to you.
Yeah,
we've got one coming. Chris has joined us from New Zealand. It's early out.
It's now just gone past 6 o'clock in the morning.
What a legend. What a legend, eh?
Yeah.
Now, Chris has joined us. Chris is managing our website. Chris, this is your opportunity to tell us all about that.
About a month and a half ago, I approached you guys saying you need a website. You've got everything else running. The one thing you were missing was that bit in the middle, the website, to get everyone going in the right directions. So we built the Shrimpers podcast website, which basically has news, teams, fixtures, obviously the podcast itself, the live shows and everything else that goes along with those. We try and keep it up to date with news articles and bits and pieces and reviews on the matches and up and coming matches, where your ticket information and all the other bits and pieces you can get for your match day information. And it's like a central hub for anything that we could think of that you guys as fans need to follow the game, and obviously follow the podcast.
Charlie?
Yeah, I think it's brilliant to say Chris Carney reached out to us, and I don't know what I was expecting, but I think it looks really good. It's very easy.
Way beyond what we can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to have a look at it, as I say, it's quite, still in its infancy. Yeah, get the right word out. It's still new, let's say, but I think it's got, like Chris has said, it's a hub that's got everything there. It's got a link to all our previous videos. It's got links to up and coming live shows that we've got, watch alongs that we've got planned, the ladies and the girls teams fixtures, reports, news, a bit of everything really. So and there's also opportunities on there that if you've got anything that you want to sort of bring up with us, you can directly contact us via email through the links there. And there's options to comment on certain sort of topics that we raise. So it's a really easy sort of website to navigate around, and it's only going to get better and better as the season goes. So I'll quickly plug the website if no one's sort of aware of what it is, but it's just www.talkingshrimperspodcast.com. Can't keep it any more simple than
nice
that.
and easy. Yeah, fantastic work, Chris. And you mentioned the watch along, so we've got our first one coming up, Solihull. I think you're away, Charlie, but
I am,
Chris,
yeah.
you're going to be loading up on the Red Bulls and coffee.
12:30.
We're going to get through it together.
Start for me for that one.
Toothpicks to keep your eyes open.
Just like the World Cup again, isn't it?
7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the for you guys. It was,
Well, it's like the World Cup for us.
We were watching
Right,
games during the day on the World Cup. That was quite good for us for once.
It's a big day kick-off,
Half 12,
isn't it? Is it
Yeah,
half
12:30,
12,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we look forward to that one. Right. Coming up next, Scunthorpe at home. Now, they drew 1-1 against Yeovil. I don't know if you saw their equaliser. Last minute from substitute Luke Brennan on his Scunthorpe debut. A chip into the corner of the net. Could be one of the goals of the season already.
Yeah.
Fantastic goal. He's one to watch, I think. He's got 27 goals in 24 games for Buxton before signing for Scunthorpe. So, 24-year-old, former Blackburn under 23. He's going to be one to watch. Danny Whitehall, obviously, he's a big problem causer. Gave us no end of problems in that preliminary playoff match. Cal Roberts has gone, thank God. Very, very, very good player. He's gone back to Notts County. I didn't think he was going to stay there. But looking at their signings, other than sort of we mentioned, Brennan, who's a very good signing. They signed 36-year-old Jacob Butterfield from Gateshead, 32-year-old Callum Howe from York, and 27-year-old Regan Ogle from Oldham. A number of their loanees have returned, so they've not done a lot of business, and what they have done is brought in a bit of experience that probably weren't getting games at clubs in the EFL. So I think, Charlie, I think it's going to be a very different game from that eliminator. Obviously, we won't be sitting back and inviting them. I can only see Kieran going out to attack them.
Yeah, I think. Just touching on, is it Brennan's goal? I think, there's a lot of debate. Was it a cross? Was it a shot and stuff? That's one.
Oh, he picked that one out
for debate. But I think
Yeah.
I can't see him. I can't imagine Duncan getting lobbed too many times. So I can't see that happening on Saturday. But yeah, like you, I think it will be a very different look and approach to that playoff eliminator from last season. We mentioned, we keep going on, but it's a very different team now. Also, like you say, Scunthorpe have made some changes there. Cal Roberts is a massive, massive loss for them because he really was a thorn in our side when we played them. But I think being at home and the way that Kieran wants to set up and play, it will be going at them. I won't have too much time on the ball. I don't think we'll allow them to have that much time on the ball and sort of try and control the game. I think we will look to control that game early on and have it our way. I think the whole sort of sitting back and allowing them to sort of knock it around, I can't see that happening. It'd be interesting to see what sort of lineup, I guess, John will go with, because he keeps talking about how he'll pick the best team, not the best 11. So, which is probably refreshing for the squad, for players that maybe didn't play on Saturday or on the bench, that actually there's a chance that I could even just walk in, you could start on this Saturday, whilst also those that have already started, and played, it keeps them thinking, right, I've got to be at the top of my game to ensure that I'm still in his thoughts for the next game. So it wouldn't surprise me we see one or two changes again, even if it is just even on the bench maybe.
I, to be honest, wouldn't be surprised if he started both Kamara and Papula, because looking at Scunthorpe, they're a side that like a yellow card. Andy Butler sets them up to go out and really ruffle teams up, and they've got Joe Rowley, certainly he's one who loves a yellow card. You got a number of players there that do like to, as I say, pick up a yellow, and I just wonder if Kieran will be looking at and saying, well, let's try and get some yellow cards early, which will then really put them at danger of getting a red. And look at the way Colclough come on and opened up the space as soon as we got that red card to pick out the counter attack. So I think it's going to be certainly an interesting game. Chris, do you see him making many changes at all?
Probably not. I don't think it's going to be a massive change. I'm not sure. We mentioned Taylor earlier on. Is he still suspended though from the red card? That's possibly why he wasn't.
No, so this was something that was discussed, wasn't it? I see online they were saying, is he still got to serve a suspension? There's not saying, I'm too sure. I don't know if, because does the FA Trophy count?
No, I don't think it does. I was wondering that's why he wasn't playing on Saturday, because it was never mentioned he was injured or anything like that. So I wonder if Taylor may come back in.
No, and Dyer never sort of alluded to it when asked about it. So whether it is just a bit of match fitness and that was it, I don't know. But something we'd have to have a look at. We should have had a look at that before we come on live, shouldn't we? Really?
I think I saw that he said there was no issue there. So I don't think it was a case of suspended. I know he's had a bit of a niggle, hasn't he? He's not had a lot of minutes. But not even on the bench. Obviously, Rayan was on the bench, and being a loanee from West Ham, I guess he's got to be included. So I think there's going to be a bit of rotation there.
Yeah, it should be. Because those players also ran their legs off for against Altrincham. They kept running. It was a high press game for them, so there was a lot of tiredness in that squad. So you don't want to be sort of getting injuries early. So the rotation for using the squad is obviously an option there as well. So,
and that's one of Kieran's sort of non-negotiables, wasn't it? It was you will run for this team. If you're not prepared to run, chase him back, or whatever it may be, then he doesn't want you. So I think he would have drilled into that, through pre-season, that you will run, you will give everything. And like you say, if at 60 minutes, 70 minutes you're blowing, then look at
a good bench to come through,
that will continue with continue that momentum all the way through. So yeah, it's a lovely position to be in.
Yeah. Now we have to mention Ollie Coker, as I said. You know, he's one player that will run for you, and you know, he puts a lot of miles in, and I think he gives us a lot of options there because we can play him in an offensive position. He's very good just outside the box, and you know, picking up a goal. Obviously, he knows how to hit those positions, but equally, you know, if the likes of Hartigan or Aldicus get a bit tired, he can pull back, play a bit deeper, which then gives the option for other players to come and play. We've got a number of players that can go forward. So, you know, I think Ollie's going to be a big key player for us this season, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He's as well, giving him the armband, you know, there's a bit of maturity about him, you know, and I think he's got that experience now. You've got like Hartigan, who was captain at Barnet there. You know, I think it was when they won the league. Yeah. So, you know, he's got people that he can call upon if he needs that bit of experience. But they talk about there's a leadership group, isn't there? So, okay, Cokes has got the armband, but amongst sort of 5 or 6 of them, any one of them really, I suppose, could have been the captain. So there's lots of experience and players there that sort of bit of know-how. But I guess, you know, Cokes, yeah, I think this could be the real making of him this season. I really do. Again, last season he found himself in and out of the team a little bit. But I think, you know, if we can get him playing consistently, he's got a hell of a strike on him, which we've mentioned time and time again. We've seen it throughout the last sort of 2-3 seasons with him. That when he does get in that attacking positions, he can really be a problem. But like you say, if then he needs to sit back and, you know, give a bit of protection to the defence, he can play that role as well. And you say it then enables others to then sort of play in front of him. So yeah, really excited to see him this season.
Should we get some predictions? Now, we played Scunthorpe 3 times last season. We didn't register 1 goal against them. Lost all 3 games. So, is it going to go that way again, or are we going to get a few goals this weekend? Come on, boys, let's do it.
Go on, Chris.
I reckon
I think we should.
2-1 to us. I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think we'll go 2-0 up, and then they'll get one back towards the end and put the pressure on us for the last sort of 5-10 minutes, and then it'll be I think 2-1.
Charlie?
Well, I'm going to go for a 2-0 actually. I fancy us for a clean sheet. But it's interesting you say about us going 2-0 up, Chris, and then, you know, them getting one back. It'd be interesting to see how we will respond to that. Obviously, on Saturday we was 1-0 down. We was looking to take the lead. If we've got the lead, and then they sort of score one, it'll be interesting to see kind of how that plays out. You know, will we still be looking to then go and get a third, or will we sort of
do in England
be a bit more defensive? So that'd be interesting. Yeah, maybe that's some stuff that Kieran's learned when he was
I don't think Kieran would be bringing on 6 centre backs. That's
no,
for sure.
No, I don't. No, absolutely not. So no, but I think a 2-0 win. I think we'll keep that run going. And 2-0.
Well, maybe it's just early season excitement. I don't know. Maybe I've had too much sunshine, but I'm going to go. Come on, we want revenge here. I think it's going to be 4-1 at Southend. It's gonna
with a sending off for them as well. Hey?
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's important because I think we keep sort of saying about our years of, you know, like say our previous with Scunthorpe, our previous with Altrincham, and I think now it's important that actually it's a completely different team, really. So I think there's a whole new set of players. I think, okay, we didn't do well last season, but the majority of those players aren't with us anymore. So, I'm so excited for this season. I really am.
Likewise, I don't think Scunthorpe are as strong as they were last year. As I said, Cal Roberts has gone. You know, I haven't been overly impressed with their recruitment. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still going to be a tough side. But listen, the only thing you can hold me to is Joe Rowley getting a booking.
That's it.
I'm absolutely certain.
You've heard it here first.
The ref's already wrote his name down already. He's got it in the book already waiting for it. He's going to put a time next to it.
Probably. Yeah, well, I'm going 4-1, so we shall see.
Looks like Pat O'Connor's with you, Phil. He's just commented he's with you, so I'm guessing he I'm presuming that's the scoreline,
Or
not
both.
the booking. So yeah, there's
Both,
maybe,
yeah.
maybe both. Yeah.
Well, we will see who's right. Well, we'll be back next Monday, slightly earlier time of 6 o'clock. We'll be looking ahead to Solihull. We'll also be getting the reaction from that 4-1 win against Scunthorpe. And also we'll be catching up with the ladies, see how they got on their first game against Hertford. So, listen, what's left to say? Thank you to Anne for joining us today. Also, Eleanor, it's been great having you on. And thanks to listeners. And we can't forget our sponsors. Without them, Surgical Holdings, none of this would be possible. So, thank you, guys. And please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Up the
Shrimpers.
Shrimpers.
Up the Shrimpers.